Hey guys! I've had a few requests come through my Instagram regarding my digital painting process, so I put together this video of one of my most recent drawings. Hopefully I'll provide you with some tips and tricks to help apply to your own process, or maybe you'll see this video and find ways to help me with mine. You'll see that I already have my concept sketch in here. I'll come up with some videos in the future to go through my drawing process, but today we will stick to digital painting. So to start out, I'm going to go in and find the two paintbrushes that I love to use in Photoshop. The first is found in this section of HB pencils. I always choose the second one here as my primary brush. This is what it looks like. I like that it has a bit of texture to it. You'll see that transfer is already set on the brush stroke. This provides that pen pressure look to the end of each stroke. I'm going to actually turn that off for right now so that my line drawing is solid. Go to Window, Brush Settings, find Transfer here, and uncheck that box. Now we have our solid HB line. Then the other brush that I like to use is called Rough Pastel. I love this brush. It's kind of a fun one, right? So you'll see me jump between these two. Okay, coming over to my layers, I'm going to bring the opacity level down on my concept sketch so that I can start tracing over it with my line drawing. I do this by clicking my layer and moving my opacity percent down. I like to put it at about 10% for this. Next, I create a new layer to tone my background. Color picking this brown here and making sure that there are no borders on that rectangle. Like this is showing a gray border, I don't want that. I'm also shifting my opacity down on this as well, and then creating a new layer for my HB line drawing. I use the eraser and sometimes the lasso tool to go in and thin down some of the edges. Similar to the transfer effect, however, the biggest difference is that transfer would not be giving me this solid line here. It would be more transparent. I'll go ahead and speed this part up a bit to work our way through the tutorial. Now that my line drawing is in, I'm going to start working on my paint layers. The first layer will be my base. I color my base layers in a skin tone color, just making sure that I stay inside of the lines on this one. And here's something I've found to be super helpful. Create a new layer and right-click to find Clipping Mask. This makes it so that anything I color in my new layers will always stay confined to the base layer that it's clipped to. I'm going to color each section of her like I would a coloring book page. I think I want her to be a brunette. There we go. And I'll save some time and speed through this part as well. I'm creating a new layer and setting up a new clipping mask for my texture layer. This is where I switch over to my rough pastel brush. At the top here, I'm going to shift the brush's opacity level down. This way I can gain more control over this part of painting. Color picking her outfit color, I'll adjust the color to be a shade or so darker. And to highlight her shirt, I'll use the magic wand tool and click on her shirt in the layer below. This way the texture layer I'm painting in the new layer will only stay confined to her outfit. I don't want it leaking onto her leg or her shirt. I'm just lightly drawing this on and adding in various shades of this gray color. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process for the other sections of my girl. Shirt, tie, and then hair. I want her shirt to have that tiny cross-hatch checkered look to it. So I'll color pick the green and go a bit darker with it, turn my opacity back up to 100, and draw each of these lines in. To save some time, I'll also use my lasso tool to select this section of my drawing. Right-click Layer via Copy to duplicate the lines I already drew, and then Command-T will allow me to move that copy to her forearm. And another Command-T, right-click, and Warp will help me lay this down properly. I'll do the same thing for the other side. Now, something that I like to do once my character is colored in is to actually merge all of those character layers together so that she is one layer. I don't think this is necessarily a common way to go about things, but it definitely is a personal preference. So export PNG, then place embedded the PNG to be our new layer. This way we can get rid of all of these other layers. I personally like less clutter. Copy the character layer by dragging it down to the Create New Layer icon. This will be the shadow layer now. Image adjustments to brightness and contrast. Click that. I'm going to bring the brightness down to 45. Then click adjustments, click color balance. I'll shift these colors to cold colors. So I'm going to bump up my blues and even increase my saturation for a fun blue shadow color. With my lasso tool, I'm going to select the areas of her where I envision the light hitting. If light is coming from the top left, I'm going to erase these sections here. Then click delete on my keyboard, and those will all go away. There's always some cleanup that needs to happen when I use lasso tool, so I'm going in and adjusting those areas with my HB brush. On a new layer, I'm going to add in a background shadow as well as her backside shadow. Again, lasso tooling areas I want to easily erase. Then using the lasso tool for a different purpose, I'll highlight all of the shadows I just drew in and go to Filter, Gaussian Blur, and shift the radius down. If you have preview clicked on this box, it will show you the blur effect that is being applied to the highlighted section of the drawing. So I always make sure that that's on so that I can see as I'm adjusting how much of the blur effect I want. I just want a little bit here, and I'll do the same for this other shadow as well. Playing with the opacity and color balances to get the look that I want. For the rest of this drawing, you'll see me going in and cleaning up my edges, as well as bouncing between overlay and color layers. Once I have everything the way that I want for it to be, my last step is to unify the colors by taking this warm orangish color and with the rectangle, applying it to the drawing. I bring the opacity on that layer to about 3%, super low, almost non-existent, but it does make a difference when unifying the colors together. Last overlay, touch-ups, and color adjustments. And voila, the final illustration.